Hi everybody, welcome to TìandTarot, or welcome back to TìandTarot if you've been here before. So today's reading is going to be a little bit different and it does require your participation a little bit. Essentially, today is an opportunity for you to ask any questions that you have. So rather than me sort of, decide the question and make a video about that, you're going to be asking your own questions today, and these are the answers to those questions as well. So what I've done is I've got 2 cards down for each pile. You can pick a pile. When you go into that reading, let's say you've chosen this pile here, I'll spread both cards either side and you can either pick which one you're drawn to and that will be your answer, or I will shuffle the deck and get you an answer if you'd rather that as well. And then from there we're going to be looking into why it is you have this answer, if there's any way to change it, or if there's any way that something to look out for in order to make sure it doesn't change. So for example, putting in certain efforts to make sure this answer doesn't change if you're happy with it. So we're going to be exploring that and seeing why you've gotten this answer today for your question. So pick a pile that you feel most intuitively drawn to, either pile 1, 2 or 3. You can pick your pile based on the energy of the pile, the number of the pile, the crystal or object on top, the numbers in the timestamps below, or the zodiac sign in the timestamps below. For pile 1 we have a crystal. We have a Carnelian half moon druzy. For pile 2 we have a bag of dried flowers. And for pile 3 we have a Malachite heart. Perfect, okay, so once you have picked your pile, there will be a timestamp in the description box below where you can find your reading more easily, and I'll meet you there. Bye. Okay, hello pile 1, welcome to your reading. So you chose this druzy half moon here, and these are the 2 cards that we have currently. So you can either pick whichever one you feel most intuitively drawn to, so feel free to pause the video, try to pick up on an energy of the cards, and then once you've decided that's your one, I'll reveal it. But for those of you who would like me to shuffle one right now for you, I will do that. Okay, so go ahead and ask your question. Okay, so as I said, this is the one that I've just shuffled, and these were pre-shuffled. Hopefully by now you've picked your card. If you have, I will reveal the answers for you. So, for the first card, we have unlikely. For the second card, we have I'll tell you later. And for the third card, we have yup. Okay. So before I get into any tarot cards, I do just want to tell you what I'm kind of getting so far about why you've had these answers. So with unlikely here, you can see that there's a cord that's very frayed and it's strained and it's about to be pulled apart. So that's creating the energy that this thing that you've asked about, there's so much strain and pressure on it and intensity that the only way it can go is separate. The only ways that you can go from this thing you want is separate, because the more strain, the more pressure, the more effort applied, it seems to just pull you further and further away. If anything, it needs to be relaxed in order to barely stay together, but even then it's not a stable connection. So you don't fully have a stable connection with this thing at the minute, and we'll look into why that is and if there's a way to change that as well. So for those of you who chose this card, I'll tell you later. This is just indicating that you're not supposed to have all the answers yet. Of course, we are going to look into how we can change this. We'll also look into timelines as to when you can expect an answer. But for some reason, you're not, at the minute, supposed to have an answer to your question. But we'll explore that. And then for those of you who chose this card, the shuffled card with yup, it's a very casual yup. It gives the energy of like your spirit guides are sick of you asking about it. Maybe because you probably already have had multiple confirmations time and time again about this thing. And they're kind of sick of you asking about it, because it's like, I've given you the answer and you keep asking but not taking action. So it feels like it's a thing of like, yes, you are getting this thing, and what are you doing to now take that knowledge and move with it? That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. And also an inevitability as well, because it's a casual yup. It's not this really intense thing. It's like, yeah, of course, you know? So yeah, those are the answers. Feel free to pick a different card if you want, now that you've had the answers revealed to you, because at the end of the day, this was your pile that you picked. So even if you don't like some of the cards here, just jump to the other one, because this whole pile, this whole reading is for you. But I just wanted to break it up a little bit for those of you who have picked the same pile but might have different outcomes. Okay, we're going to use the tarot deck to get answers as to why this answer has come out for you. So for person 1 with unlikely, why has this answer come out for you? We have the High Priestess. For person 2, we have the Hanged Man. Love that. Okay. And for person 3, we have the Moon. Oh, okay. I love that. Alright, so let's set these to the side for now. This is very interesting. With the High Priestess, of course, this is a card that is very much about intelligence. It can be about balance and things like that as well. So I'm seeing that you might not be but as harmonious as you think you are with this thing that you've just asked about. You might think that is the right connection for you, that is the right path, that is the right opportunity, but it seems that it isn't. And as well, I can't believe I missed this. The fact that there's a moon behind this snapping cord means that there is something behind the scenes that you're not seeing that is kind of your subconscious dreams, a dream that you're not even aware of. And so even though this thing isn't working out for you, and you might feel sad about that, the moon implies that and indicates that 1, it will all work out in the end for a reason, but also 2, it indicates there's something better for you in the dark side of the moon that you can't see. Essentially, there is something better out there for you, and that's why this cord is tearing. But it's not completely torn yet, so all hope is not lost, so we can definitely look into that. But again, the same sort of energy is kind of there with the High Priestess of this silence, this dark side, this thing you don't know, this thing you can't see yet, a secret. And so it makes me feel like there is a way better fate and future for you, waiting for you, that you can't know about yet. That's why, but it's right around the corner. It's waiting for this cord to snap before it can present itself. Until this cord snaps, until you're separate from this thing you've asked about, that gift that the moon is holding, that secret, cannot be revealed. On top of that, with the High Priestess, of course, we just spoke about how you might not be in balance or harmony with this thing, but on top of that, there's also a really strong element of wisdom and intelligence here. And the thing is, it's giving me the vibe that you are too intelligent to be connected to this thing, because it implies that the thing you're asking about is something that only people who maybe don't consider the best path for themselves end up down that path, if that makes sense. So by that I mean there are certain decisions that some people make that are like the wrong choice, and that would therefore be like the unintelligent choice. But you're too intelligent for that. You're too intelligent to make that mistake, which is why as well there is this resistance and this strain, because your intelligence literally makes you incompatible with whatever this thing is. And as well, you've got, again, the moon here. Of course, the moon is associated with the High Priestess. So I can't believe I was missing that. But yeah, there is a secret here. There's something waiting to be revealed once you finally let go. With group 2 of pile 1, you have I'll Tell You Later and the Hanged Man. This very much indicates that the thing you're asking about, you're supposed to sit and contemplate it. You're supposed to think about it and really consider if this is the right thing for you. if it's the right thing you want, but also you need to shift your perspective or your approach to it as well. And until that happens, you're going to be kind of left in limbo. So you kind of need to reconsider a plan of action or a course of actions to take in order to get this thing that you want. And to also consider if it's very much the thing you 100% want. You know, make sure you've left no stone unturned, you've checked every avenue and angle, and you've decided, yes, this is the right thing for me. There's also something you need to acknowledge before you can move forward with this thing as well. There's some sort of realization that needs to happen before the thing you're asking about, before that connection can really build. And for group 3, you had Yup and the Moon. I love this so much. So again, similar to the first group, there is something you're not seeing, but the thing you're not seeing is this sort of supportive force, this great power, your spirit guides perhaps, potentially, or the universe supporting you on the journey. That dark side is you being supported in your ambition towards this thing. So even if it feels like it's not heading anywhere, you're kind of being told, like, trust in the invisible because they've got your back. It also feels like this thing might be quite far away from you, but it is inevitable on your path because it's got a baby wolf here. It's got a cub, so it implies that there's some more growth and wisdom that needs to be earned on this journey before you get there. There's some experience needed because you're kind of at the naive beginner stage, if that makes sense. You're at the Fool card right now, and you need to get to a more solid place before this thing comes up for you. I also see wish fulfillment as well. I know that's more the Star card, but I always also associate that with the Moon card personally. So I do see wish fulfillment here. And the way the wolf is looking up, it's like wishing on a star vibes. So that's how I see it. So that's why you've got this answer. It's because it was inevitable for you. And for group 2, the reason you've got this answer is because you literally have to wait. You're being told to wait. That's why you've got the Hanged Man. And for High Priestess with Unlikely, the reason you got that answer is because there's something better for you and because you're too worthy and intelligent for this thing that you want to manifest. So, are there any circumstances in which this thing could change for you? This answer could change. Right. So you have the Star in reverse, group 1. Group 2, you have the 10 of Spring in reverse. And group 3, you have the Empty Cottage in reverse. Okay, so the way that I was going to interpret this by asking if that question is essentially fixed or not is that the major arcana would be fixed cards and the minor arcana would be it's not fixed. But they've come out in reverse. So it's a maybe. It's a maybe for pole 1 and pole 3. For pole 2, it's saying that this is not a fixed answer. So the answer to your question will inevitably change from I'll tell you later to a yes or no. So it will inevitably change. So for pile 1, because you've got the Star in reverse, I would say that this card here, the answer you got to your question, Unlikely, could potentially change just because it's dependent on your desires. So with the Star card, there's wish fulfillment there. So it's dependent on what you really, really want. And if you deep down want something in your subconscious that you know is better for you. So for example, you could really want whatever this thing is you asked about, but if the universe is telling you like, but there's something better, there could be a part of you that's like, okay, then I accept that and I'll accept the journey I'm on. And if even a small part of your subconscious feels that, then it's going to keep this answer. And bear in mind as well, Unlikely isn't a no, it's just a probably not. You know, the cord hasn't fully snapped. It could, you know, if you didn't put strain on it, if there was no more stress on this cord, it could stay together. So it's just a maybe, really. It's like a most likely not, but at the same time, it could still happen. And because you got the Star in reverse, it's saying it just depends on whether or not this is something you truly want, and if you really want to miss that opportunity that's waiting around the corner for you in order to have this thing. So that's the energy that I'm getting there. For group 2, to have the 10 of Springs here in relation to is there a way to change this answer? There definitely is. So firstly, you need to do more contemplation without distraction about what it is you truly want, what it is you truly want to do, and whether or not it's right for you, and whether or not it would put a burden on you as well. Because it's also really important for you, I think, to build up the ability to say no to things, because the 10 of Spring in reverse can be about overburdening yourself, taking on more than you can handle, saying yes to everything, and you shouldn't really be doing that. So you're essentially, the universe or your spirit guides is putting you on a bit of a timeout until you can learn to stand up for yourself, so that when this thing does finally come forward for you, you're in a better position to accept it in a healthy way. So you're being put on a timeout to work on that side of yourself and to be able to identify when something's too much for you and actually put your foot down about that. I think there's still some sort of inner work you need to do and some inner shadow work before your answer can change, but the answer will change. Depending on how that self-reflection goes, whether or not you're able to build up that resistance to people kind of pressuring you to do things you don't want to do, or if you haven't. And then that will determine the outcome of your answer. Also, I'm getting the energy of two things. So the answer will change for you depending on what you make your priority as well. Because there might be some things that you're kind of neglecting in the sense that if this thing is going to overburden you a lot and you're going to keep saying yes to things and putting more on your plate, are you then using that thing as a distraction from other avenues in your life? And if you are going to do that, then this thing isn't going to come forward for you, because it wants you to have balance. It wants you to, the universe and your spirit guides want you to have balance if this thing does come in for you. It doesn't want you to just throw your all into it. And at the minute, who you are now, you totally would do that. For group 3, as to whether or not this answer can change, again, it's a maybe, just like with pile 1. Although I was going to interpret these as fixed, it is in reverse. So with the empty cottage, this is actually, in this deck, it is literally its own thing, but it can also represent the Wheel of Fortune if you were going to try and compare it to a traditional deck. So essentially, it is completely dependent on the actions you take and your luck at the time and your fate as well. So with the empty cottage, there's an air of you could stay in that cottage, you could have that door shut and never leave and never go anywhere and sort of be isolated and alone. Or you could open that door and you could leave and you can explore, but that is up to you. It's your choice to cross that threshold. It's your choice to open that door, make that decision and step out. So essentially, this answer can change depending on the actions you take. If you are inactive when it comes to the thing, if you just wait for the universe to put it in your lap, then that's not going to work out for you. You do have to take actions towards it if you want this to stay as a yes for the thing that you've asked about. So it's all about whether or not you're willing to put the effort in to manifest this thing as well. And I do just want to ask as well when this thing will come in for you guys. Okay, so we have Grace in reverse for group 1 for when this thing will come in. For pile 2, we have the King of Spring in reverse for when this thing will come in. And for group 3, we have the Mirror in reverse for when this thing will come in. Obviously for group 1, based on all your answers, this will either be, if you've decided, no, I want to stick it out with the thing that you've asked about, even though you know it's maybe not the best foundation, this will be about when that will finally relax. But if you don't want to ask about that and you want to ask about this future surprise, this future thing that is better for you, then this will be about when that will begin as well. For pile 2, this answer is about when you'll get an answer to your original question. And for pile 3, your answer is when this thing is happening for you, because you're all at different stages. Okay, so for pile 1, your answer is November 23rd to December 21st for when you will see if this thing is going to work out, or if it doesn't work out, when this better thing is going to present itself to you. For group 2, you have July 12th to August 11th for getting your answer, yes or no, will this thing work out? And have you done the work in that time to get that answer and get the answer you want? For pile 3, interesting, for pile 3, because you have Judgment in reverse, this actually means permanent, so it means that this answer is staying put, it's not changing. But it also, rather than give you a date, it's letting you know it will be a really quick / slow process. So it's like very confusing, but I think that means it will happen quickly when it happens, but it's slow building up to it. Okay, so that was your reading pile 1. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, let me know in the comments and I'll totally do it again if you prefer. If you were drawn to any other piles, feel free to check those out now. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to help the channel out. And I hope to see you here next week on Fridays for another reading on TìandTarot. Bye! Okay, hello everybody. So welcome to your reading pile 2. So you chose Dried Flowers, which I'll place there, and these are your 2 cards so far. As I said, take some time to get a vibe for each card, see which one you're drawn to, see which one you're feeling, and then stick with that and we'll reveal the answer in a second. But for those of you who'd like me to shuffle an answer for you instead on camera, then I can do that now. So for those of you who would like me to shuffle an answer for you, that is the card for you. So hopefully by now you have picked your card and we'll reveal the answers now. And if there's one you're not happy with, you can absolutely jump shift to any of the other cards in here, because at the end of the day you picked the pile, you know. So any number of these answers could relate to you, but just go with the one you're feeling. So for the first one we have might be, so there's a potential there. For your second one, for those of you who chose this card, your answer is go, the time is right. And for those of you who chose the shuffled card, your answer is for sure. Okay, now we're going to ask why it is you've got these questions. So I am going to get into these before we get into that. And then we're going to be looking at if this answer could potentially change, not only so that you can see, you know, that there's a different outcome if you want there to be, but also so that you can see ways of preventing the answer from changing if you're happy with this as well. And then we'll ask when this thing is going to kind of happen for you as well. So for those of you who chose this first card with might be, definitely it's very wishy-washy. With might, it implies that it's dependent on something. There might be something you need to do in order for you to connect with this thing that you want. For those of you with go, the time is right, it's letting you know that right now is a really good, very aligned, perfectly balanced time for you to get involved in what it is you're interested in. All the stars are aligning, everything is in perfect order. If you've ever had a card from this deck, that's like weather permitting. The weather is permitting, bitch, okay? The weather is permitting. It's time, it's ready to go. So it's basically saying now is crunch time and time to seize an opportunity. Like, don't let it go. Take a lot of action right now. And for those of you with for sure, this not only implies a sense of certainty and stability with this answer, but it's also quite casual, in the way that it's answered, for sure. So it's almost also, there's a lack of worry, a lack of anxiety. This seems to be an inevitable thing that is going to happen for you. Okay, so let's see. Why is it that you got this answer? So you have Judgment. Group 2, you have the Hermit. Group 3. Oh. You have the Star. I love that. It's kind of copying pile 1 a little bit there, with the group 3s in pile 1. So the reason group 1 out of pile 2 that you've got the answer might be is because we've got the Judgment card coming up here. This is indicating that you might be feeling a little bit detached from this thing, questioning, is it the right path for you? Is it really what you want? And for that reason, for that detachment, there's a pause. There's oh, is this the right thing for you? Because the universe or your spirit guides aren't going to go ahead with pushing this thing forward if you're not 100% about it. And if you're not, that's absolutely okay, and they'll find something better for you. But that's why we've kind of got this question mark here. This kind of might be, could be, might not be, you know. That's why we've kind of got that, is because there seems to be a bit of detachment and also some soul searching needed. You might need to take some time to think about what it is you want and see if this is the right path for you, and consider other things you might want instead, and kind of picture that in your head, play that scenario out in your mind, see if that's something you enjoy. And if it is, start to manifest that instead. So there's definitely some questioning going on here. Like, I'm seeing this figure in the sky kind of doing between these three options. So it implies there are more options available to you, and for that reason you're kind of needing to do a bit of soul searching, because you might be feeling detached from what it was you originally wanted, and now potentially indecisive as well. For group 2s out of pile 2, the reason why you've got go the time is right with the Hermit turning up here is quite interesting. So potentially you've been feeling a lot of demotivation around whatever this thing is in the past. You've been feeling a lot of that, a lot of lack, a lot of loss of energy, you know, you haven't had the energy to go after it. You've been feeling a bit demotivated. And so you kind of went into this hermit mode a little bit, where there's something to learn from that, because you don't just lose energy for something that you're passionate about for no reason. There's a reason behind it. There's something in it. You've kind of had to go on a bit of a journey, a little bit of soul searching to figure out what it is that's holding you back from feeling that high energy for this thing that you are otherwise passionate about. And now that you've done all that soul searching, you've found out what it is that really makes you passionate about it, you're feeling that reignition of that flame, of that fire, of that passion, you now feel driven towards it. So now is the perfect time for it, because of the feelings you're having internally of courage, of passion, of desire, of wanting to take action and go after it. On top of that, I'm seeing in the light that she's holding this little torch to guide her out of the darkness. It's shaped like a star, so I also feel like it's wish fulfillment as well. You're just ready to receive this wish and you want to go after it, and you know this is the right path for you. And so you're coming out of the darkness and you're being guided by what your dream is, what your wish is towards this thing. That's why it's the perfect time for you, because you're finally being led by what it is you want. Like, now is a perfect time for growth and opportunity, because you're feeling really courageous. So again, similar vibes over here with, for sure, with group 3, you've got the star, so this is wish fulfillment. So that is why you've got this answer, because this thing on your path that you're asking about is intended for your path. That's why you have the star. It is wish fulfillment. It is something you are supposed to receive. That's not to say that that can't change, but as of right now, this is something you're meant to receive, that you're meant to go after. You're being encouraged to tap into your emotions and really be fueled by that. Be fueled by your desire for this thing. Be fueled by how hard you want it, and be really emotionally in tune with that, because that's going to help you achieve it more. The more you want it, the more you drive after it, is going to help you to achieve it. But that is essentially why you got that answer. It's because it was meant for you. That's what you got with the star card, which is so crazy. Okay, now we're going to ask if this answer that you've gotten can change. Okay, so yes, it can for group 1. Can the answer change for group 2? Yep. And can the answer change for group 3? Potentially, but I'd say more so no, but potentially. Pile 1, you have the 2 of Springs in reverse. So your answer of might be to your question can potentially change. It is 100% dependent on your desires again, of your creative pursuits and the options available to you, and which one you want to pick from. So the reason why it can potentially change is that you might decide that you want this thing truly, and therefore you dedicate your attention to it, and then it becomes a yes. Or you decide, actually, I want to dedicate my attentions to something else, and then it changes, and the thing you want, the object of your desire, changes, and that becomes your future. So it is 100% dependent on what you choose to do and what you desire, because you have all the choice here. All the balls are in your court. It is entirely up to you how this goes. For group 2, you have the Knight of Autumn. As we sort of mentioned, you have a tendency to feel quite demotivated and a little bit lost, and like you need guidance in order to find your way towards what it is you want. You might be feeling too inexperienced or unworthy for this thing, and because of that low self-esteem, this opportunity right now is tangible on your esteem. It's tangible on you feeling courageous and maintaining that spirit and that desire and knowing that you're worthy for it. So whatever it is that you want, whatever it is that you want to go after, you have to be brave like a knight. You have to be courageous and not let anyone get into your head and put like little seeds of doubt there into making you believe that you're not good enough for it, or now isn't the time, or you need more work to do, or you're not experienced enough yet. If you listen to any of that noise, then it's going to ruin this current opportunity for you. But if you continue this streak of being brave and adventurous towards what it is you want and knowing that you're worthy to receive it, then it will stay as the right time for you. So you just have to be brave and keep your self-esteem up for sure. So for group 3, you have for sure. And as to whether or not this could change, I was using the Major Arcana as a sign that this is a fixed answer, but it is in reverse. So that makes it a maybe. You know, it could change. It completely depends on a few factors. One, it depends on your emotional connection to this thing. Because with the Sun card, there's a lot of happiness, confidence, bubbliness. If you're no longer feeling happy, confident or bubbly about this thing, then that can of course change the answer. On top of that, that kind of yellow sunshine, sunflower energy, personality type, they have a tendency to be like, yes, I'll do it, I'll go after it, I'll do this, I'll do that. And they tend to say that they're going to do things more than they actually do them. And so for you, the answer could change if you say you're going to do things and then don't. So if you say you're going to put action towards it and put a lot of effort in to achieving the thing and then you don't follow through on that, then of course that can affect your answer and change it if you're not willing to put that effort in. On top of that, if you stay connected to this thing, if you stay positive and happy about it, and you keep being you, be very grounded, be naturally who you are, and keep, you know, true to your kind, authentic self, then it will inevitably happen for you, so long as you still want it. So that's what I'm kind of getting there with that Sun in reverse. Okay, and let's see when these things are going to happen for you. So when, pile 1, are you going to make a decision on this? And when will it be revealed to you, you have the lupin, that is the right path for you? Group 2, when will this thing manifest for you? So you have the 4 of summer in upright. I was going to say in reverse. 4 of summer. Okay. And group 3, when is this thing manifesting for you? I feel like it's that one. So you have the 8 of spring. So group 1, for when this thing or your other options, if you pick those, manifest for you, you have March 21st to April 20th. So of course I imagine that will be in 2026. For group 2, you have July 12th to July 21st for when this thing is manifesting for you. And for group 3, you have November 23rd to December 2nd for when this thing is manifesting for you. So that was your reading, my lovely pile 2s. If you enjoyed this one, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really helps the channel out. If you were drawn to any other piles, feel free to check those out now. If not, I hope to see you here next week on Fridays for another reading on TìandTarot. Bye! Okay, hello pile 3, so you chose the Malachite heart, which I'll place there, and these are your 2 cards, so take a moment to feel which one you feel most intuitively drawn to, and that will be your answer. But for those of you who would like me to shuffle an answer for you on screen, I will do that now. Amazing, so hopefully by now you have picked the one that you feel most intuitively drawn to, and I'll reveal the answers to you now. But just remember, if you don't like one of these answers, you can just pick one of the other two, because at the end of the day you picked pile 3, so technically all of these answers can apply to you. But I would suggest sticking with the one that you've got, just because there's probably an important message in there for you. If you want to change, that's of course absolutely fine. So for those of you who picked this card, your answer to your question is it could be. For those of you who picked this card, your answer is listen to your intuition. And for those of you who picked this card, your answer is for sure. Okay. So I think straight away for group 1 out of pile 3, you have it could be. Could implies that there's always an option to have this thing. Like, yes, you can drink a cup of water, but do you want to? Like, yes, you can go for a walk today, but do you want to? Like, it's more like that. It's like, yeah, the option is available to you. It's accessible, but how do you feel about it? That's kind of what I'm getting there. For those of you who picked this one, this is 100% about feeling out what's right for you. Is this something you truly want? And only you really know that. And if it is, then you will go after it, or it will come true for you. But it has to be something that you really like and you really want. And there's also an element of wisdom here, because you do have an owl. So it's also about making the smart choice for yourself as well. The wise choice. For those of you who picked the final card for sure, the one that I shuffled, that is essentially implies a sense of permanency. Like, this is an inevitable thing. Of course it's going to happen for you. Like, the way it's said without urgency as well, just like casually, for sure. You know, it implies that this is something that you don't even have to worry about. Like, it's coming true for you. Okay, so now we're going to use the Major Arcana cards to see why it is you got this answer. So for group 1s with it could be, you have the Magician. Yeah. Every single card that has come out for every pile has just been so on point with their answer. That one in particular. For group 2, you have the Death card. Love that. So spiritual, group 2. For group 3, you have the World card. Oh, I love it. Let me move this over a little bit. Love that one. Okay. I'm also just going to shimmy this one over as well for more space. Okay, so for group 1 out of pile 3, you have the Magician with it could be. So you 100% are in control here. So the answer is dependent on what you create. You literally create and manifest the world around you. You have a lot of internal power, a lot of resources. You're very like thrifty as a person. You know how to get what you want, and you're able to manipulate your environment around you to make that come true. You have all the tools in your belt to make this thing come true. So it's just dependent on if you want it to be that way. Do you truly want this thing? Because if you do, you have every resource to make it come true. And the fact that you're not wielding those things, if you do want it to come true, implies that somewhere deep down subconsciously, you might not fully back this thing 100%. You might not fully want it to come true. So keep that in mind as to why you got this answer. It's dependent on what you want. For group 2 with Listen to Your Intuition, you have the Death card. You also have a little unicorn there as well. So there's something about being willing to let go of what doesn't resonate with you. So you might have to let go of something and transform in some kind of way in order to let this in. So I think in pile 1, group 2 as well had a similar message, and it was essentially about letting go of their struggle to say no, their struggle to stand up for themselves, because otherwise they won't be compatible with this thing until they do that. So there's something about you needing to let go of something within yourself in order to accept this thing for you, because you might not be ready for it if you're not willing to transform in some kind of way. In some kind of way in terms of the way that you think or feel about this thing, or think or feel about yourself. You might have such low self-esteem at the minute that if you were to try to go after this and accept it, it wouldn't be accepted in a healthy way. So you need to build up your confidence, and you need to be brave. With the unicorn, it implies a sense of like uniqueness to this situation, but she's sitting on the unicorn. So you're the unique thing, you're the special thing being brought into this situation, and you have to acknowledge that in order to receive it in the best way possible. You have to start looking at what it is you're bringing to the table and respecting that in order for you to find your answer. You have to look inwardly. You've got a lot of power to do that. The reason why group 3 you have for sure with the world card here is because this is destined for you. It is your like reward for the journey you've been on, for the tough times, you know, for the long journey. This is your reward. Whatever you've asked about, it is a part of your final destination, if that makes sense. Like, by the way, that's not to mean like your final thing in life. No. We go through like cycles and stages. You're currently in a cycle. We go through them constantly, and at the end of this cycle or the next one or the one after that, it is destined to be a part of that final cycle. We'll find out when it will happen for you, so that will depend what cycle you're in. But right now, the reason why you have for sure is because it's destined for you. It's literally a part of your journey, which is why you've got the world card. It's also something you've worked hard for. It's something you've earned. It is something you deserve because you put a lot of effort towards it. It's not something you kind of just sat around and hoped for. Yes, you were hoping, but you were also acting. You were also putting in a lot of effort, because with the world card, it's you putting in that effort to then get to that point of reward and celebration. So it is something very well earned by your own efforts as well. So let's see if this answer could change for you, group 1. Yeah, the answer can change for you. Group 2, the answer can also change for you. Group 3, maybe. Because the way that, for group 3, the way that I interpret the major arcana is a yes. This is a unwavering answer. This is a fixed answer, but it's come out in reverse, which means maybe. And then for you guys, group 1 and group 2, the minor arcana, especially upright, means this is an answer that could change. It is dependent on something, and the card that you've pulled indicates what that is more dependent on. So for group 1, with it could be, you have the 7 of Autumn. So this answer could change to something more permanent, more fixed, like a solid yes or no, depending on whether or not you keep up with positive routines, and also whether or not you keep up with physical habits as well. There's something about taking action here in a physical way in order to get what you want. So this answer can change depending on whether or not you choose to take more positive actions, positive routines, keep up with habits that are good for you. But if you don't invest in those things, then it might change in a way that you don't want it to. This answer might change in a way you don't want it to. You also have to keep optimistic as well. If you would like this to change for a very positive, like a solid yes, you would need to be very optimistic towards your future and have that sort of fake it till you make it energy, which the Magician can represent. Have that, you know, I can do this, even if you don't feel like you can. Have the sort of I can do this, I've got this energy, because it will help carry you there as well. And also, it can change depending on whether or not this is truly something that would satisfy your soul. If it's something you genuinely enjoy and really want, and that you 100% you don't want anything else, then yeah, it will change in a positive way for you. But if it's something where you're like, you know what, I'm not 100% sure about this, it's like, once again, it stays in that place of it could be. It's just up to you. Really, what you invest your time in will manifest the future that you want. Essentially, you're being urged to stay committed and focused if you want this to be something more solid, like a yes or a no answer. You have to stay committed and focused to what it is you want and the efforts you're putting towards it. For group 2, this answer can change depending on whether or not you are cooperating and in harmony with the thing that you truly desire, because there's a sense of doubt either in yourself or in this thing, and you need to have harmony in order to get the answer that you want. So if you're feeling doubtful about this thing, and you're not 100% sure that you want it, then that's going to mean that there is a pause. There's like a barrier between you getting to this thing. But if you feel like this is something you're 100% sure about, it lifts up that barrier and changes this answer to something that you might prefer, like a yes, you know? So it's about listening to your inner thoughts, paying attention to that and making sure that this fully aligns with you. That can change your answer. Whether or not you're in harmony with your inner self and what you truly want and what you desire and what you deserve as well. Is this a future you would truly appreciate and love? Or is there something better you feel that you are destined for? That will change your answer. What you go after will change your answer. For group 3, you have the Lovers in reverse. Definitely there's a maybe on whether or not your answer could change. More leaning towards this is fixed, but there definitely is a maybe there. Because with the Lovers, it's about either having harmony or conflict. So do you fully align with this thing you want? Or is there resistance? Is there conflict? Is there something about it that you don't like anymore? So it depends, because you might change your mind about this thing, and in changing your mind, you're changing the fate of this thing, the future of this thing that you have asked about. It depends whether or not you want it or not. That's been the message for all of you guys. That wasn't the case for part 1 or 2, but for all of you, you've gotten cards where it's essentially saying, do you harmonize with this thing, yes or no? Because that will change the answer. So the only thing that can change your fate or your future here is your own desire, and whether or not this desire is a permanent one or a temporary one. So let's see when this is all manifesting for you to come to a head, to reveal the final answers to you. When is this all manifesting? So you have the Queen of Winter for group 1. Group 2, you have Digitals in reverse. In group 3, you have the Cliff in reverse. So for group 1, this will be manifesting for you in between December 13th and January 9th. For group 2, this will be manifesting for you when components align. So essentially, once everything is in order, once everything is aligned, when the weather permits it, when all your ducks are in a row, the timing is right, that is when this thing will come in for you. It is 100% dependent on you, the inner work you're willing to do to transform, and whether or not this is something you actively want to work on and work towards that aligns with you. So for you, yours is staying ambiguous, and there's heavy emphasis on transformation with the Death card and also the Moth and Butterfly here. So group 3, you have the Cliff, which is the Death card. So for you, this will be manifesting around October 24th to November 22nd as well. Okay, so that was your reading, pile 3. I hope you enjoyed it. It was very much a different one today, so feel free to let me know in the comments if this is something you enjoyed, if you want me to do it again. If you were drawn to any other piles, feel free to check those out now. Remember to give me a like and a subscribe as well, as it really helps the channel out. I hope to see you here next week on Fridays for another reading on TìandTarot. Bye!